Crisscross, pulling floss, needle thread from black to red, pink, navy green, and in between, snug as my brain. I'm Stitch Me Sane.
Hi Flosstube! My name's Carla. This is my Flosstube channel called Stitch Me Sane. It is a channel all about cross stitch and my love of this hobby. It's so lovely to see you all. I hope you're having a great start to the new year. I haven't seen you since September last year, and I've been watching all of your amazing WIP parades in the last couple of months and thought it's really about time that I said hi and shared some progress. I've been working on a stack of different things, but today I am going to kick off from the 1st of December last year and what I've been working on since then. It is Saturday the 24th of January. I am coming to you from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, and it is a very hot summer here right now. It is 40 degrees today and the sun is shining. I'm relying on natural light today, so I hope that works. And yeah, I've got 20 WIPs to show you. Looking forward to going through this little pile that I have sitting here. I stitch on a whole variety of different things. Full coverage is pretty much my jam, but I've got some samplers today. And if you follow me on Instagram, where you will also find me as Stitch Me Sane, you will know that I have a love of Carolyn Manning designs, which I have quite a few in my pile today as well. If you stick around long enough, once we get to the end of the video, I wouldn't mind sharing some of my plans for 2026. I've been really enjoying hearing all of yours, and it's inspiring me a little bit to get creative and think about some a little bit more of a definite plan than what I generally have had in the past. Hoping to include in that plan is more floss tubes. So I hope you enjoy what you see today. Thank you if you've been patient and you are a returning subscriber, and welcome if you are new. Let's get stuck into the stitching. So the first one I'd like to share with you is a Heaven and Earth charts design called Tranquility. She's beautiful, she's big, she's 250 odd thousand stitches. And I am stitching the max color chart as well, which is a little over 200 different colors. I actually make a lot of my own thread cards out of old cereal boxes, and as you can see I have 4 full cards for this one, so there are a lot of different colored threads. I really love the color palette. This is where I am at. I have been stitching on a 25 count Lugana in cream 1/1, which is generally my preference for all of my full coverage WIPs. I just really love the coverage and the feel of when you're stitching on it. It just works perfectly for me. I do park my threads, so forgive me. I know that's not everybody's it's not everybody's preference that they would like to see, but that is the way I stitch. I don't trust myself to count any further out and continue on with the thread, so I park it when I am confident that I've gone as far as I can. So yeah, I'm about 7,000 stitches on this one. I'm stitching it with my good friends Nancy, Michelle and Vic, and we are hoping to have 10K on this chart when we come together in August for a retreat that we will all be attending. So I don't know where you are at, but yes, I've nearly hit the 7,000 stitch mark. Love the colors in that. All right. Next I have a Carolyn Manning Designs chart. This is Grandma's Lilacs, and as I've said to you, I just love these designs. In particular, the Shooting Star collection. This is one of those. I love purples, I love greens. I'm stitching it along with my good friend Barb from Stitch Brat, and you can find her on here and on Instagram, where she's very active, and I love following her page. We've got quite a few pieces that we stitch together. We both love Carolyn Manning Designs, so you might hear Barb's name pop up with quite a few of these that I've got coming up. I love stitching them on 18 count Ada, my Carolyn Manning Designs, and this is where I'm at. So stitching 2/2 and I have crossed the 20% mark on this one. They look small, but they're not. They're 35,000 stitches, all full coverage, but they're just really plain, easy little block stitching. When I tend to get very tired late at night, I will pick up a Carolyn Manning rather than a big full coverage. I tend to stitch on 2 to 3 things a day. That's just the way I roll. And generally I try to work on a Carolyn Manning at least once a day, even if it's just 50 stitches. So that is Grandma's Lilacs. The next one I have is another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. This is Relativity by Escher, the artist Escher. And it's one of those grayscale charts. So I've been wanting to start one of these for a little while now, and I really love this artwork. It was a bit hard to actually choose which one I wanted, but Relativity won in the end. And I'm stitching it on a 25 count Lugana, and well, actually it's not a Lugana, it's an even weave, and it's a bit of a cheaper brand. And it is a bit crunchy, but it's getting softer the more I work on it. So this is where I am at. So that is about 2,500 stitches. Top left corner start. I think all up we've got, I think there's 16 greys, you know, whites, greys, whites, black. I really love the effect so far. I think it looks fantastic. And I am stitching this with Nancy, my good friend. She lives here in Australia, Bohemian Stitchery. You can find her as well on here and on Instagram. I also have a lot of pieces that I'm stitching with Nancy. So let's get some more progress on this one. We did great at the end of last year, and then it's fallen away a bit. Well, it has for me. So really enjoyed that one. Oh, here's the thread card actually. So that's how many colors there are, if we want to call them colors. So it's good fun, just lots of confetti, but I like confetti. Okay, well, would you believe another Heaven and Earth Designs? This is Galaxy Girl. This is a relatively recent new start. I think it was October or thereabouts last year. Oh no, it was November, because I was doing Wowvember for my Wall of Women. I have a Wall of Women. I call it Stitch Me Same Wow, Wall of Women. And it is going to ultimately be a wall of all my finished pieces of amazing looking female images. There's a few of you that have jumped on board this sort of vision. And I love seeing all of the pieces that particularly we work on over November when we do the Wowvember challenge. So that was when I started this one, just figuring out the right way. This was also one of the first big full coverage pieces I've ever started on 22 count. And wowee, I am loving it. I went the 1/1. I was a little unsure at first, but it is, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't have a huge amount of progress on this one, so that's where I'm at. With my needle minder there, I'm not weird. Unlimited edition. So that's, yeah, 500 stitches, but really enjoying the coverage. That's the center start, and really looking forward to making a bit more progress on this one. Actually, I really love the piece. I love the colors, the bright. Okay, next we have, this is one of the full coverage pieces that I first started when I got back into my cross-stitching journey, which was around 2019, when a lot of us did just before COVID sort of broke. So I think I started this in 2020. It's a big piece. It's called Sanctus by Electric City Stitches, which I believe you can find on Etsy. I went a 20 count Ada for this because I wanted it to look sort of, have that tapestry look to it, this big abstract beauty. So I'm stitching it 2/1 on a 20 count Ada. I have just over 15,000 stitches, I think, and this is where I am at. So it's looking good. It's got a lot of different colors. What I did, because there's so much 939, I actually started gridding and outlining all the little 939 boxes so that I could get over to some of the color. So I sort of stitched some of the color and then reward, well, I stitched some of the 939, then I reward myself with some color. So sort of switch back and forth on this one. I think I'm at about 7%, and I've only really put in maybe 300 stitches. I just hadn't worked on it in quite a while, so I thought it'd be nice to pull that one out. And that's big too. I think it's close to 200,000 stitches. Okay, another Carolyn Manning coming up next. This is Ribbon Candy, and Barb and I started this with sort of a Christmas theme in mind. I don't really stitch Christmas, although I have this year figured out that I have, well, in 2025, I did sort of figure out that I had a few Christmas charts. So I worked on a few bits and pieces, but this one I gave a lot of love. And I think I got 1,500 stitches in. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Ada on red, and it is popping. Look at where I'm at. So I've nearly got the full first page finished. And those red squares, they're stitched, and they're actually a little tricky on the red, but I think it's definitely worth it. So I'm about 13%. And yeah, I think it's looking wonderful. The 18 count again, 2 over 1. Barb's stitching hers on more of a light green fabric, and hers looks amazing as well, but just so different. And that's what I love about this hobby, how you can stitch the same chart but have it look dramatically different on, yeah, depending on the fabric that you choose. So yes, that's another Carolyn Manning that I have. That's actually a broken star. And yeah, the colors are just beautiful. I've actually subbed some anchor in for that one. I own a lot of anchor thread, and if I'm missing a DMC for something like this and I've got enough anchor, I just sub it in because I would like to use it at some point, and I don't think it makes a huge difference subbing in 1 or 2 colors on a chart like a Carolyn Manning. Okay, another Heaven and Earth Designs charts up next is Paradise Found. The artwork is Janelle Nickel. I started this on my 40th birthday, so it's been a couple of years now, and I would really have liked to have made a little bit more progress, but I think I probably put in 500 stitches over December, Jan. I think we're at about 17,000 stitches now, 25 count, 1 over 1, and this is where I am at. So there's a lot of confetti in this piece to get that effect. I'm not sure if that's coming up, if you can sort of see it. I'm really trying to get 2 of those pages finished. Those first 2 are not too far off. So plugging all those ninjas. And yeah, coming to her head here. So that's her hair. And really that's sort of the center of the chart there as well. So I would really like to work a little bit more on this one. It's been around for a while and I really enjoy it. I have quite a few Heaven and Earth designs as well, as you're probably learning as we go along. This is another one of my earlier charts where I did sub in anchor on this as well. So this has also got some anchor in it. Over the years though, I've built a DMC master set now, so it doesn't happen as frequently, the subbing of anchor threads, but it's still an option and I like to do it when I can. Okay. All right, and just for a change, we're going to go another Carolyn Manning Designs. This is Arctic Blast, which is a free chart that you can get on Carolyn Manning's Facebook page. It's still there available. I actually had a look the other day at the file section on her page, and there are a lot more freebies in there than I recalled. So I went to a quick smart went and downloaded some of them just in case they disappeared at some point in time. So yeah, it's well worth having a look at the Facebook page. The colors on this one are beautiful. All these blues and grays with a bit of a purple tinge. I'm getting a bit creative again because, as I said, I do like to try and use up my stash where I can, particularly on pieces like Carolyn Manning's. So I think I've gone this Sullivan's thread for some of the white. I can't quite recall what that's replacing, maybe 3865. And I'm combining that with this white silk. So it's going to be slightly different to everybody else's, but I think it'll have a bit of a different and unique look with those whites. I'm not very far along on this one. I'm stitching it on a blue 14 count Ada. This is where I am at. I think I'm only about 4%, 1500 stitches or so. I really pulled this out and worked on it because both Barb and Nancy are also working on it. And in fact, Nancy is gunning for a finish on this one this year, and hers is looking amazing. So yeah, that's one of the Carolyn Mannings that I actually have on 14 count. I have two, I think, and the other one I also have here to show you in a bit. Otherwise, I generally go 18 count. I also have some 20 count though. Okay, next one is a Stitches So Beautiful chart. I have quite a few of those charts now, but I think this is the only one I have to show you today. It's called Strolling in the Rain. It's beautiful. Those colors, they get, oh, I really love this one. And it's been getting a lot of work because Stitches So Beautiful have a challenge that they've been running on Facebook. It's a monthly challenge where you sign up and you have to stitch a minimum of 250 stitches a week and post your progress. Nancy and I, we're stitching this one together, and we've been using this for that challenge nearly every month last year, so it did get a lot of love. I am stitching it on a 25 count Lugana in cream 1/1, and this is where I am at. I thought I might use that as my my tile, so sorry for me just having a few random smiles in the middle of the video. So the confetti in this is unbelievable. Let me see if I can show you without seeing my nostrils. I hope that's coming up, but that tree and those leaves in the branches, there is a considerable amount of confetti. I am 10.4 thousand stitches on this now. It's 160,000 in total. And again, I'm really pushing to get that first page finish in the center there. I'm not far off it now. If you are not aware of Stitches So Beautiful, you should absolutely go and check them out. As I said, I've got quite a few now, and they also run these challenges. They're actually going to start trialing it on Instagram in February. So go and have a look at their page, and the instructions on how to join and participate are there if you prefer Instagram over Facebook. So looking forward to getting some more progress on that one this year if Nancy and I continue to use it as our challenge WIP. Okay, next up I have a sampler to show you, something a little bit different. This is a 2x2 stitch, I think is what it's called, and it's over on Etsy. They've got some amazing samplers. I have 4 WIPs from that store, and I'm loving working on each and every one of them. This one I'm using silk from Silks For Us, and they're an Australian business. They're often at the retreats that I attend, and I cannot help myself each and every time. And my collection is of hanks is actually growing. So I thought I really need to start using them because they're too good not to. The one this is the color that I'm using for this one. It's sort of like a rusty orange. It's slightly variegated and it's just beautiful to work with. And I am stitching this on a black Lugana, 25 count, 1/1. This is where I am at. Oh, it looks so good. So I'm 10% on this chart now and really enjoying every stitch. I admittedly have made quite a few mistakes over the last few months, but I've persisted on frogging and getting it back on track rather than putting this piece in timeout, because I have a terrible habit of making a mistake on something and putting it to the side, never frogging it, and it sits there for sometimes years, truthfully. So yeah, keeping this one going no matter what happens. Really, really loving it. I hope the light's picking up that variegation for you. So the goal for this one is 20%, again by August, our retreat. I'm stitching this one with Nancy, and my little stitchy crew have some 2x2 stitch art, that's what they're called, 2x2 stitch art challenges going on. I really love this silk on the black. All right, where are we at? I think we are more than halfway through. Next one is an unconventional cross stitch chart. They are an Australian company and I really love them. I've got a few charts from Jodie. This one is Into the Void 2 and it's been around for a while. This one and another full coverage I've got to show you soon are my two big BAP focus pieces for 2026. They are the two of my bigger charts that have the most progress, and I would really love to one day actually finish both of them. So 25 count, 1/1, this is where I am at. She is looking fantastic. So I'm 21% complete, which is 37,000 stitches. And I try to work and rotate onto the hat and then the face and then the background, because that hat is a serious challenge and I don't want to leave it all until the end. But yes, I love her. I love her so much, and I'm really looking forward to knuckling down and getting some solid progress on her this year. Okay, next up is my Heaven and Earth Designs chart called Yes. This one has been a focus on and off for some years, and recently it got another little burst of attention where I worked on it nearly every day in November and December. I was really keen because I can technically finish this one this decade if I dedicate a little bit of focus. I took a little break in July, and wouldn't you know it, it's the 24th of January and I haven't picked it up this year yet. So that needs to change, because yes, I love this piece so much. It is 25 count, 1/1. This is where I am at. Now, I still don't have a page finish on this chart, and I really should, because I am 26% complete. I am literally 300 stitches from being 50k. I was hoping to have that done before showing you, but I didn't quite make it because I haven't picked it up this month. This chart also has Chronic, and what I've done is actually subbed out probably a third of the Chronic because it wanted big slabs in the floor tiles, and I just wasn't prepared to stitch huge slabs of Chronic, so I've swapped that out for an Anchor White, and I've kept the Chronic kind of sprinkled through in the parts that I think will benefit from having it. So the pig here, if you can see that, there's a bit in there, there's more down the back there. And up here in her kind of collar and then dress also has some more sprinkled in there. So I am still using it, but I'm just not prepared to stitch massive slabs of chronic. But I have grand plans for this one this year. I just need to get back into it. I was stitching like 100 a day nearly, and I've put like 5,000 in the last couple of months. So if I keep on that path, I really can potentially finish it this decade, which would be amazing. It's 193,000 stitches, to give you some context on how big it is. So you'll be seeing that one a little bit more regularly throughout the year, because that one and the one I just showed you, I would like to be a bit of a focus. This one also has anchor subs. This is back when I had very messy thread cards where I kind of just threw numbers randomly on them as I used them. And I still don't have a colour finish either, despite being 26%. So there needs to be a few big milestones hit on that chart this year, I think. Okay, next up I have a piece I recently pulled out in the last couple of weeks. It really didn't get enough love last year. It's a tidy patterns chart from a collection that you can purchase from them in a bundle called Aztec. And I just love all 6 charts that come in the bundle, but I chose this one because the colors just really, they just caught my eye. So I went with a dark charcoal Ada on a 20 count. And this is where I am at. Those colors just pop. Amazing. The pink and the green. So I think I might continue to work on this one. It's been really fun. I've sort of worked on this green bit up here, and it'd be great to sort of finish one of the rows and then finish this one as like little mini finishes. It's only 22,000 stitches, the entire piece, but it is full coverage. So yeah, looking fantastic. I think I'm only like 4%, I think, on this one. So it definitely needs some more love. Tidy Patterns have got some amazing charts. I've got quite a few from them. Highly encourage you to go check them out on Etsy as well. Okay, we're getting there. We have 7 left. Some more Carol and Manning designs. So let's look at another one of those. This one is Jade Vine, which I started with Nancy last year, later in the year. She started hers before mine. I kept sort of going to do it and it just didn't happen. I've been working on it a lot in the swimming pool and outside. Not in the swimming pool, but outside while my kids have been swimming, because it has been such a hot summer. The colours on this one are just divine. I love those. Oh, they are some of my favourite colours. I don't have a huge start on it, but I think I'm about 350 stitches in. It's an 18 count white Ada, 2/1. So I think that's probably 1%, because they're about 35,000. Although I think this is one of the shooting stars that has the border around it, because her more recent releases have a single stitch border around them all. So it could be 36,000, the total stitch count. So yes, we'd love to see a little bit more work on this. Love to see yours come out too, Nancy. It's actually named after a plant that is located in the Philippines, and I went to the Philippines in 2020. So it has a bit of a special meaning as well, which is lovely. Okay, I'd still have more Carol and Mannings, I'm just warning you. Now I want to show you the 2 that I have left together, so I'll just put them to the side for a minute. The next one I have is the Jade sale of 2026. So I did decide to jump on board the Jade sale this year. I did last year as well and failed miserably. I don't even think I put 1,000 stitches into the chart. But this year I have changed that already. And I started this piece with Nancy. She came to stay at my house on the 1st of January, which I think is pretty special to start together. So we both actually chose the same chart, which is the Sun, Edvard Munch, and it is a beautiful older piece of art. I'm loving the color pattern, the color palette, sorry, and there's about 87 different colors. It's also not huge, it's only 88,000 this chart. I am stitching it on an Ash Rose Lugana 25 count. I'll just fold that actually so that you can see it a little bit easier, my progress. That is where I am at, which is 1500 stitches. So I'm pretty pleased with that progress already since I only started on the 1st of January. This one I think is going to be hard to see on this fabric until I get some decent sort of coverage happening, but I'm loving the choice of fabric. I think it really suits these colors. It's not the most popular of the Jade Cell this year, but I have seen a few stitching on it and I look forward to seeing how everyone stitches up. I went the center start, obviously. So I hope to sort of continue to make progress. I know that we've already had the Amy Stewart exclusive release to us without having to stitch the one page, which is very generous of them, but I think I'm going to still push to achieve that goal. We'll see how we go. So that's the Jade Cell. Okay, now I have, this is an ink circles chart called Pentatonic. There's a couple of different color schemes that you can choose for this chart. I selected the multicolored, really bright rainbow one because I just love the colors so much. There's not a huge amount of colors in it. That's those there. And it just looks so good. I'm on a 18 count Ada, stitching it 2 over 1. I am about 3,000 stitches in. That is where I am at. Oh gee, that looks so good, doesn't it? Maybe I might use this one as my tail. We'll see how we go. What else? So this little bit here that I haven't stitched, I do that for a reason, because this is a symmetrical chart. That just helps me remember what is the top and the bottom. I know others have different methods in keeping track of that, but for me, if I just leave that little bit unstitched there in the center, then I know which way up my fabric goes when I start to stitch on it again, so we don't get it all mixed up. I really like this, and in fact I should work on it far more often than I do. All right, these two Carolyn Mannings. These are my two oldest out of the Shooting Star collection, and two are seriously potential finishes for this year. This one is Carrot Cake, and I am 55% complete. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Ada. It's the Ada called Rustico, and this is where I am at. How good is that looking? I'm very pleased with that. On this one, you can see I've missed the corner. That's my indication of top and bottom on this chart. So I have a little sort of, just a little trick that I do on each of them to keep me on track. I think I've got maybe 5 color completions on this chart now. It's 35,000 and I am 55%, which I think is just under 20,000 stitches. The colors are beautiful. I have anchor subs in this too, so if you have seen others complete this chart, Barb has already completed hers. The colors do look slightly different in mine because I have subbed in some anchors, but it doesn't matter because it still looks incredible. Okay, now just hold that one in your mind, because this is my other one that is potentially a focus for a finish this year. This is actually my very first Carolyn Manning designs that I started. It's Dragonfly. It's in the Shooting Star collection as well. So this is my oldest. I am literally just about to hit the 60% mark on it. This is on a 14 count Ada 2 over 1. this is where I'm at. So 5% more than carrot cake, but this is my oldest. And it's also cool to see the difference actually between the 18 count and the 14 count. Now, which one do you think I should focus on? Carrot cake or dragonfly? Which one? I would love your view. Please drop me a comment and tell me which one I should aim for a finish this year. Dragonfly or carrot cake? I would love your view. I really would. I really love enjoying understanding what people that look at my work like. It's interesting on Instagram because you'll often get the crowd favorites where you know if you post something that it will probably get high engagement. So I actually find that quite interesting, what others find appealing and what they like. All right, I've got 2 left. They are both samplers. So we have this amazing piece, which I have been focusing pretty heavily on for a little while now. At least once a week I work on it, if not 2 or 3 times. It is Strawberry Thief. Whoopi Cat is the designer. This is an older piece of art by William Morris that she has decided to chart. And I love this piece so much. I'm stitching it with Barb as well. We both decided to ditch the background and use dark fabrics so that we didn't have to stitch all of the 823. This is where I am at. I went with just a flat navy Lugana 25 count and I'm stitching it 1/1. Oh, I enjoy working on this one so much. I worked on this flower a little bit yesterday. So I'm really trying to get the first page finished at the moment. The whole piece is only 4 pages with 2 or 3 2 partials. So the full page finish comes in sort of here. You can sort of see. So not far off that, but just look at the detail. And I really like working on this one on Pattern Keeper as well because I stitch 100 stitches and then I delete 100 stitches of the 823 in the background while I'm going. So taking that into consideration, I'm 20%, but I haven't stitched 20%. There's some real value in ditching the background on some of your WIPs, particularly those people who have a lot of them and want to see some finishes at some point. Okay, lucky last is Death by Crossstitch by Long Dog Samplers. I'm stitching this one with Nancy and we had a rule when we started. We both have big tubs of random threads, having been stitchers for a long time. You know where you have those tubs where you collect random scraps from kits that you've bought but only for the fabric that were in the op shop, random skeins in brands that you have none others of, skeins where labels have fallen off. I've got a huge tub of just all these random bits of thread that I've collected over the years that don't really have a home for anything. So we are stitching Death by using that tub. So this is sort of, this was left over from a kit. I don't know what, not left over. I bought the kit secondhand for the fabric, really cheap. And these are the threads that, because I'm not stitching the kit, I just wanted the fabric out of it. So I'm kind of running with a bit of that color scheme. And then I've thrown in, I've got a whole stack of these anchor skeins, but I don't know what color they are because they didn't come with the bottom label in some random purchase I made secondhand. So I've thrown that in as the border color. And this is where I am at. It's on a 22 count, kind of a beigey color. There's my Snickers needle minder. So we'll see how we go. I don't know if I'm loving the colors I've chosen so far, but I think if I just keep working with the palette that I've pulled, it really will all come together. So that's about 2.3%. I actually worked on this last night and I went to finish off the X and I found a huge mistake in it. So again, rather than putting it in timeout, I frogged the mistake and then I completed the X. So I was pretty proud of myself actually, because I really do have a habit of just putting them to the side if I find a mistake. Okay, so that is what I have been working on since the 1st of December. I'm not sure, well, there's a few in there that I'll continue to work on, but next time I see you, I should have pretty much a different rotation. Let's just briefly touch on goals. Thank you if you stuck around for the stitching. If you don't want to hear about my goals that I'm setting in January and are unlikely to keep over the year, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. But just briefly, goals for this year. Nancy and I have committed to a no-buy. So that's going to limit my new starts. I still have a whole bunch in stash that I could, but it means if something like grabs my eye and takes my fancy really quick this year, I'm not going to spontaneously purchase and start like I have been doing. I really want to see some progress on my pieces, and so we thought implementing a no-buy would reduce the starts, not eliminate them because we both love a new start, but increase our progress on the existing WIPs that we already have. So that's one goal. Another one is I really want to touch all of my WIPs. There were quite a few last year that I didn't get to, and I don't want another year like that. So that's goal number 2. Goal number 3 is I have not really got any page finishes at all on any of my full coverage pieces, despite some of them having some decent progress. I want to change that this year, and I want to get as many page finishes as I can on those big charts. So that's 3 goals. The other one is I do want to finish or 2. Doesn't matter what they are, doesn't matter how many, at least 1. I want to commit to at least 1 finish. So they're my 4 loose goals for 2026. No buy. Oh goodness, now I've already forgotten. Now I've already forgotten my own goals. No buy, pages, and oh, seriously, my brain's gone. Sorry, it's hot, guys. Anyway, I know what I just said. I know what my goals are. I think it's time for me to get going. I hope you have enjoyed seeing my stitching. I hope to see you again soon. Enjoy your weekend. Happy stitching. Thank you. Bye.